You're smart, you're motivated, you want to do something big. You're on the verge of being a young boss, and we're going to help you get there. I'm your host, Isabel Guarino, and welcome to the Young Boss Podcast, where youth is your power. Have you ever been told to F off on a cold call as a 12-year-old? This week, we sit down with Miss Teen Florida and the show's youngest guest to talk about the power of discipline, why surrounding yourself with like-minded people from a young age is key to future success, and why not being scared of strangers can be your biggest asset. I'd like to welcome Sabrina Cardone of 10X Kids and Cardone Capital. Let's dive in.
Hi, Isabel. Thank you for having me.
Tell me a little bit about how you got started, how you got involved with your dad's business.
I've always been very deeply integrated into my dad's business ever since I was younger. I've been speaking on stages since, I think the first one I did was in 2018. And I would have been around 8 or 9. And that was to a crowd of about 9,000 people. The biggest crowd of people I've ever spoken to was around 35,000 people.
Were you scared?
I was so nervous, but I was almost a little bit too young to fully realize the extent, what I was about to do, and that I should be nervous. But I just remember you kind of know, in the back of your heart that you're supposed to be nervous.
Yeah.
But I just didn't really know to be scared yet. But I had a really fun time at that one. My favorite audience I've ever spoken to was in Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas when I was about 10. And that was probably my favorite speech. You may have seen it. I really enjoyed that one. But I've been very deeply integrated with my dad's business ever since I was very young. I've always been helping around at the office, taking out the trash or whatever he had me do ever since I was very young.
Did you ask to get involved, or was he like, come on, we're doing this?
It was more so, he was like, come on, we're doing this. I don't know if I would have, at that young of an age, decided, hey, this is what I want to be doing. Nowadays, I'm the one who's wanting to be involved. I'm putting my energy into it because I want to. But when I was younger, it was definitely more so my dad.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think, it is amazing because when you are younger and you're just thrown out on stage, you don't really know that there's a difference between what you're doing and what other kids are doing. And you don't have that same fear that somebody who grows up never having that experience, now they're 50 years old and it's their first time on stage. They're like, what do I say? What do I do? You kind of got that out of you right away. And when you got to see your parents go on stage, you're like, they can do it. I can do it. Like, this is normal.
When I was younger, my dad's mantra for me and my sister was, we would introduce ourselves. Hi, my name's Sabrina Cardone and I can do anything. So ever since my parents have been teaching us that we can do anything that we set our minds out to do, and have given us countless opportunities to demonstrate that and have confidence in life. So, public speaking along with making cold calls has been some of my most invaluable experiences.
That's amazing. Okay, who's a better boss, your mom or your dad?
Well, it depends, in what aspect.
Tell me what's it like to work with both of them?
My mom is very, she's a powerhouse. Whenever she wants to do something, she goes out and she does it. She's, her goal is to empower women and build the family dynamic back, because in this day and age, families are getting destroyed and targeted by the press, by TV shows, media. People don't want to see families succeed. So my mom's goal is women empowerment and building back the family, where my dad's goal is to educate everyone about money, finance, things that people aren't really educated in. And I mean, they're a team. So both of their goals is just to reach 8 billion people and affect them for the better.
That's amazing. You are a world traveler. It seems like your dad is always posting and you're always posting in different locations. How has that influenced the way that you perceive life and business, being, able to see so many different parts of the world?
I've been lucky to travel to so many different countries. One year we went on a world tour and we visited 19 countries in 1 year. We went to, some Asian countries, some European countries, and we've been to Mexico. We've been to a bunch of different beautiful places, and it's really affected my outlook on the world because I've gotten to learn. I've been homeschooled ever since I was around 9. It's given me the opportunity to go out and learn from real life experience, see real life history, see where things have happened. So I would say that world traveling has really affected me as a person. And I know that that isn't somebody everybody can do, but anyone who can, I would recommend traveling to a few cool places at least and seeing the world.
Do you notice when you're traveling that people think about business or think about life differently based on where you are in the world?
Definitely, especially like even just in America, even just locally, people in California, my experience with them is that they don't always like to work. People in New York are very finance and art oriented, as well as people in California. Um, just a couple of the hot spots of the world, like Texas, people, everywhere you go, there's going to be people who don't really care about success, who don't really want to succeed. And there's going to be people who are going to succeed no matter what they do. So everywhere you go, you're going to find those same two types of people. And I mean, there definitely is slight differences here and there. In, more suppressed countries, they just can't really, they don't have the opportunity to be as successful as people in America do because, we have the oldest freedom, or, people in some European countries with more freedom. But it really depends.
Okay, so this show is called Young Boss, and I feel like you are the ultimate young boss, but I want to hear from you. Do you think youth is an advantage or a disadvantage?
Youth is both an advantage and a disadvantage. It's not fair to think of it as either one or the other. I don't think, extremes exist of anything. But, being young, people underestimate you greatly, which you can take as an advantage or as a disadvantage. It's harder to get hired when you're young. It's harder to for people to take you seriously when you're young. So I would say, it does have its advantages. You're younger, you can work more, you have more life force in you than older people who are tired and, they want to retire. But it's both. It has both its advantages and its disadvantages.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that there is a lot of underestimating that happens, but exactly like you're saying, the pro is the life to it, the vigor, the enthusiasm that you have that is harder to have when you've been beat down, when you've failed, in business over and over, or life has just hit you down. Maybe you haven't had that much of it, when you're younger. So when you're talking to aspiring entrepreneurs who are your age or even a little bit older, a little bit younger, what is your message to them?
I think out of any quality that one person can have, discipline is the most important quality.
I
And
love that.
it doesn't matter what you want to apply the discipline to. For some people, they just can't do their homework because they hate school. And a lot of people really just, hate school. And it's really important to be able to get good at something that you don't like. I didn't used to like school. Now I'm like 2 grades ahead and about to graduate, I think later this year. And
Congrats.
I'm only 15, so I'm quite ahead. But I mean, it's just really important to be able to apply discipline more than motivation, more than this kind of, a lot of people talk about motivation. It's this like very airy, like what even is it? Just like a feeling you want to go do something. It's more important than that. Discipline is being able to do things when you don't want to do them, when it's hard to do them, and even be able to do them when you do want to do it, and when things are going great. So discipline, I think, is the most important quality a person can have. And if you can master that discipline, then I think that you can really achieve anything.
Congratulations on graduating early. That's huge. Do you think that you're going to go to traditional college? I know your dad's been very anti-school and having you guys homeschooled. What are your thoughts on college?
I have thought about college. The only reason I would go to college is because if I wanted to do something that would need a degree, like if I wanted to be a lawyer or something like that, or if I ever wanted to run for a political position where for some reason I would need some type of degree for that. For now, I don't think I'm going to go to college. I want to work for Cardone Capital with my father. Real estate is really what I'm interested in, and you don't really need a degree for that. You do need, a realtor license if you're going to be a realtor. That being said, that's not really the kind of real estate that I'm interested in getting into, so I don't think I'm going to do that either. But for now, college isn't something I'm interested in, but I wouldn't rule it out completely.
Yeah, I think that's smart. And that's exactly what I always say. It's like if you're going for something specialized, obviously you need it. If not, there's so many other avenues and ways. So I love that you're on that same page. And I think that's really brave of you too, because so many people are probably in your ears saying, you need to do this, you have to do this. So it's great that you have, parents and a dad specifically who's like, no, you don't. Like there's a million ways to get what you want done, and I'm going to help you, on that journey. So let's talk a little bit about that. Before the podcast started, I told you that I saw your TikTok go viral. And first, when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, go girl. I'm so proud of you, right? You're how I'm going to become a millionaire before the age of 20. And then immediately I checked the comments and I'm like, why is everyone hating on her? Like she's trying to do something with the gift she got. So tell us a little bit about that experience.
So I did a video, and basically what it was is I'm going to be a millionaire by the age that I'm 20, and here's how. And of course, when you make videos for social media, you want to create bites. You want people to get hooked by what you're saying. And my bite was, I'm going to be a millionaire by the time I'm 20, and here's how. That, people took that very, they were clipping it. Oh yeah, I'm going to work for my dad and blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's how. And I got a lot of hate on those videos, but at the end of the day, I was thinking about it and I was like, oh, like, how do I handle this? And I talked to my dad and he was like, if I were you, I would say, at least I have a plan. And I realized that, yeah, at least I have a plan. At least I'm not, commenting on a 15-year-old girl who's talking about what she wants to do with her life on Instagram or TikTok, because at least I have a plan. And I'm not unaware that I have an amazing gift in my life, that I have a amazing advantage over people if I use it. A lot of the people that I know that grow up with money are not using it correctly. They're, wasting their time on drugs and partying and alcohol and other people. And so they're not using the gift that they've been given correctly. They're not using it to create a wonderful future for themselves. And so, it can go either way. I totally understand. Like, yes, it's a little bit out of touch with reality, but I have been given this amazing gift and I'm going to do something with it.
Yep. And kudos to you for that, because like you said, so many people are given that same gift and don't do anything with it. And if you did that same thing, you said, I'm going to lay on the beach and relax and chill the rest of my life, like I'm good. You could probably do that. And they'd be hating on you too. So they're hating on you for doing it. They're hating on you if you don't do it. It's like you can't win in that situation.
And hey, if I spent my whole life laying on the beach and doing nothing, I would hate on me too.
Right?
So I need to do what I can do for myself so that I don't hate on myself, so that I feel good about myself at the end of the day. Because, the internet trolls can say whatever they want to say, but, nothing will greatly affect you more than how you perceive yourself.
And that's such a great way to keep your head above water in the world of trolls and haters online, because there are so many people who don't understand the full context of it. And if they did, and if they met you and knew all the things you've already achieved in life and that you want to achieve, they would be honored and proud of you. And if somebody can't come to that conclusion in their heart, it says a lot more about them than it does about you. So keep your head up. You're doing amazing. So do you think that there is an age that's too young to dip into entrepreneurship? Tell me a little bit about that.
I mean, I definitely don't think there's an age that's too young. I mean, if you can't like if you're like literally a child, like a baby, like you can't talk, like you're not going to be an entrepreneur. But as long as, you're sentient enough, I think, to want to, pursue something, I think you totally can. You just have to have a plan. Like I said before, a plan. You have to, know what kind of entrepreneurship you want to achieve. And as long as you have that, I think you can totally pursue whatever you want to pursue.
Tell me about 10X Kids, because I know you announced that at the last 10X there in Miami, and I was so excited to hear about that because I think it's going to be incredible. So tell us more.
So 10X Kids is a platform that we created a little while ago. And what it is we're developing something called 10X Kids University, where we're going to have kids educate kids about, finance, entrepreneurship, how to pay taxes, and all these important things that, kids need to know but aren't taught in schools. And so right now we're still in the process of developing it and getting kids to make the videos to teach other kids that. But what it is basically it's a platform to educate kids about the necessities of life, the things that people need to know so that they can succeed in life and basically set them up for a successful future.
I think it is so amazing. And so many people talk about what's not happening in schools, what's not being taught in schools. And the fact that 10X Kids is going to help kind of close that gap, because you are blessed that your parents are able to homeschool you, right? Sometimes parents aren't able to do that. And so for those kids, joining 10X Kids and being able to learn about those things really will help it take to the next level. Is there any specific goal or mission, like you want to impact X amount of kids or something like that? Because we want to help be a part of that mission.
I mean, our goal is we want to impact any kid who wants to be impacted by it. Obviously, kids don't want to learn about that. We're not going to make them, but we want to, teach kids about financial literacy as soon as we can. And as many kids as we can, and as many people as well. I mean, that's our goal. We want to educate people about finance. We want to educate old people. That's our goal. But 10X specifically caters toward kids.
I love it. Is your role going to be kind of the face of it? Are you taking it on?
We don't know yet. We're still working out that, but I mean, you'll see and I'll see and we'll see together.
I love it. Okay. Well, we will be awaiting whatever happens. I'm excited for that. Okay, I read something on Zen Business that 93% of Gen Zs have explored business ownership and 3 in 4 want to launch their own business. But obviously some obstacles that they face are lack of resources, not having the visibility or being able to get quality leads or consistent execution of marketing activities. Do you think that 10X Kids or any of the services that your dad offers, right? Cardone Capital and all these things that you're a part of can help with that mission of younger business owners wanting to get in and kind of learning how to minimize that gap of what they don't know?
For sure. I mean, I think Cardone services can be beneficial for people of any age, even in just like connecting with other people, other like-minded people with other resources, because it's true. Kids don't have you don't have all the access to things as adults do. You don't work, you don't drive. But I mean, I definitely think that can be beneficial for young people.
I love it. Hey, why waste your time doom scrolling when you could be learning how to raise capital, manage a team, or be a boss? It's time to level up and hit that subscribe button for the Young Boss Podcast. Now, back to the show. Are you doing any work with the Grant and Elena Cardone Foundation? Do you do work with the foundation?
I've done some work in the past. Currently, I'm not doing anything. I go to the workshops and all that kind of stuff and, meet kids like that. The Grant Cardone Foundation, I did a pageant. I was Miss Teen Florida in 2021, I think. And I was promoting as a part of that, the Grant Cardone Foundation. So the Grant Cardone Foundation, it teaches underprivileged kids, maybe without dads or without moms, about financial literacy and all these things. And we give it to them. We sent out a bunch of units out to Africa, to underprivileged people in Africa, I think 2 years ago, something like that. And we're keeping, we're expanding and we're giving it to more people, and we're doing workshops with people, helping people build their businesses and all that kind of stuff.
That's incredible. I love that. And it's so important to be able to give back. And thank you for being a part of that. And congratulations on Miss Florida. That is really fun.
Thank you. If you want to link the Grant Cardone Foundation, any of your viewers can donate. And I don't know exactly what it is, but one sum gets kids more education.
I love it. We will definitely put it in the show notes below, so check that out. Okay, you have talked about becoming great, becoming obsessed, and taking action. A lot of kids your age or older, younger, whatever, they struggle with homework. We talked about homework earlier. And what is your message to those kids who haven't found something yet that they want to commit to? How do you find that thing?
Sometimes I think it's important to, I don't believe that people have a purpose. I don't think there's one thing that somebody, that's what they were put on planet Earth to do. I think that whatever you want, whatever you find that you are, maybe you're not even good at it. Maybe it's just something, anything that you can decide you want to commit to and you want to become great at and you want to put the discipline in. I think that that's what you should do. I know a lot of kids who, you know, take what my dad says about school and stuff to be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna drop out of school and all this stuff and then go make $1 million. But that's not what you should do. You should definitely finish high school at least, and you should finish it and finish it with good grades, because if you can become good at anything, if you can become good at school, something that's probably not totally practical, something that's probably, teaches outdated things that aren't completely important. If you can become good at, that, something you don't like to do, you can become good at anything. So I think it's just really important to practice discipline in every aspect of your life, even those that you don't, necessarily like. And I think in that, you'll find the thing that you want to do for the rest of your life.
Yeah. And I think that's actually really important because you're not saying like, find the thing that you love every day and just like go into that. It's not a self-indulgence message. It's actually right on track with what you told us earlier, which is discipline. And I do think that that's a really difficult skill for young people to learn and to become really good at, It's easy to say, oh, I love playing basketball, so I want to go, practice every day after school. Okay, great. But what's the thing you don't like? Math, science, whatever. That's the thing that you need to work on the discipline in, right? Not the thing that's fun for you.
Exactly. You're going to do the things that you like to do every day.
Yeah.
But, there's in any person's life, there's always going to be something that you don't like to do that you're going to have to do. And you have to be able to, tackle that and do that.
Yeah. I would guess is it hard for you to find friends who are like living a similar lifestyle that you are? Or do you guys have a good group of friends around you?
I have a good group of friends, but they are definitely different to me in, the sense that I have like a very unique life situation. And a lot of my friends are just, normal people. But I like to surround myself with people who want to do better for themselves, who want to, keep growing. And, I'm not saying everyone that I know is perfect, but the people that I surround myself with are trying to get better, at least.
Yeah, I think that's great because I would assume you could be living a very lonely life in the sense that you're traveling so much and you're doing things that a lot of times adults are doing. So kids your age might not be able to 100% relate. So you saying that you do have friends and people on your wavelength is so important because it could be lonely, it seems.
Especially like during COVID and stuff, I definitely didn't have a lot of friends, but you kind of just like, you know, I don't think friends are the most important thing in anyone's life. I think that there's a lot of more important things. I've always been really, really, connected and close with my family. But I mean, it is good to have a group of people that you like and want to spend time with and like as people and who empower you to do better. So, I mean, it is really important, and I'm really glad that I have a lot of friends.
Yes. And that you have a great family because also your sister does a lot of the same things you do. So I'm sure that you guys can connect on that as well.
My sister's so incredible. I love her more than anything. She's one of the most amazing people I've ever met.
I saw her little clip with your dad the other day where she's like, Sabrina's just blowing me out the water saying she wants to work for you and I want to be an actress and everyone thinks I'm lame. And I was like, oh, girl, you're not lame. You're amazing.
She's going to succeed so well in any career that she wants to, because she's just that kind of person. She has that like very otherworldly ability to create whatever she wants to create in her life. She's going to do fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, tell me, what is the best advice your dad has ever given you?
I've been asked this question a million times, and every time it makes me think of something, because he has instilled so many important values into me and my sister. But I mean, definitely the thing about the discipline, he has taught me that. When me and my sister used to not want to go to school, when we used to go to real school, we'd be like, no, we don't want to go. And he's like, oh, I have to do things I don't want to do every day.
Yeah.
And, it's just really helped us like learn discipline. Discipline is something like, it's not just, you don't just have discipline. It's not like you just have an ability. It's very much a taught ability. I mean, other than that, he's directed us and just, helped us pick the right friends to be around, navigate so many different like random life experiences that you find yourself in as a teenager. And I mean, he's just a great dad, he's taught us so many important things, and it's hard to pick one.
Coming, from someone who's also worked with my father, it's such a blessing to be able to do that, right? Like you're getting to know your dad, not just in the dad role, but in the boss role, in the mentor role, in the friend role. And so many kids don't have that experience with their parents. They only ever know them as mom or dad. So, I lost my dad a couple years ago. Heaven, I hope you have your dad forever and ever. But you will be so blessed by all those experiences. And even when you get asked that question, like later in life, so many things will come to you that you're like, oh man, like he did teach me that. I do think of that all the time. So it is such a blessing. What are 3 tactical tips for teenagers to begin growing their personal brand in business?
3. Okay, I have to pick 3. Social media, you 100% should utilize social media in this day and age. And what you definitely should not do is be a consumer of social media. That, use social media to outflow, to put things out into the world, not to, watch and endlessly scroll. Something else, just, discipline, be disciplined, do something every day. If you're gonna, if you want to start a social media brand or something like that, post on social media at least once every day. You have to be able to do something every day. And what else? Meet people. People. My dad always told me, you don't need to be scared of strangers. Strangers have everything that you want. So anything that you want, somebody else has, and obviously don't get in any dangerous situations. But absolutely meet people, it just depends, in your church, in your school, any groups where, maybe your parents, uncles, friends' parents, something like that. Meet people who have what you need to become successful in the avenue that you want to be successful in. And, talk to them and get them to be on the same side as you and get them to, help you create your business. So, I mean, it's just really important. People. So to sum everything up, meet people, utilize social media, and practice discipline.
Okay. Have you had any like big mistakes or failures in business as a young boss?
Definitely, I've never had anything, like crazy happen. Like I never collapsed any companies or anything like that. I mean, just like things like I would call someone and they would pick up and they'd be like, I hate Grant Cardone, get out of my face, F you, like all this crazy stuff. And I'm just like, oh, cool. I was like 12 and I was like, oh my God, wow, people are so mean. But
Yes.
I mean, I've never had any like actual, failures. I've been lucky enough to be guided by adults and stuff. I'm not like doing everything. I'm obviously doing everything for the first time, but I'm being guided by people who aren't doing everything for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've never had any like really big failures that come to mind.
What are you looking to do with Cardone Capital? Tell us a little bit more about what you're getting into over there.
My goal in Cardone Capital is I want to expand our portfolio to be, $40 billion of assets under management, and then later 400 billion assets under management, which would make us the largest real estate owner in the company. And that's my personal goal. I just want to, okay, our business model with Cardone Capital is very different than normal people's business models in real estate. What we do is we allow people to invest with us in these, institutionalized class assets. Only big people like Blackstone, BlackRock, all these like big, you would recognize their names, like kind of companies. And the normal, everyday Joe can't invest with them. They can't buy these kind of assets. So we let somebody invest with us and we send them money either every quarter or every month, depending on the amount of money that they invest with us. And we send them money recurringly, stably throughout the year. So people can have a different flow of income than just their job, and they have it stably. Because, imagine his dad died when he was only 10 years old. And 2 weeks later, his mom had to sell the house. And his dad did everything right. His dad was great, but they didn't have an extra flow of money to make sure that they stayed stable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just imagine what an extra $100 a month can do for a family.
Yeah.
It's,
Yep.
gas, groceries. It can go toward rent, anything like that. So that's what we do. So I want to continue growing that to continue helping masses of people.
It's amazing. And so many people want to be able to invest, but don't know where to start, don't know where to go. So partnering with you guys in that, it really helps them become a part of something so much bigger than just themselves. And if they don't really know what they're doing, you guys kind of take care of all of it. So that's the perk right there.
Exactly. We manage the assets. Many people could buy like a 4-unit asset, but in that case, you would have to manage it too. And you can't have a job and manage a property. It's just so much stress.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to have to do that, you could take the money that you could invest in a 4-unit property, 32-unit property, something like that, and invest it with us where we would manage everything and you would just get that check every month.
You have, obviously your dad is amazing when it comes to real estate, when it comes to investing, all of these different things, and education, right? He's really one of the kings in the education space. Is there any other, programs or, dimensions that you're like, I'm really interested in that as well?
I really enjoy writing, which is something not a lot of people know about me. I like writing like poetry and short stories and that kind of thing. So I would be totally interested in taking up an avenue like that. If there's any publishers who are watching this and and want to, publish some of my poetry, I would love for you to read some of it. But I mean, my main interest is really just the real estate, the business side. I think we're really, my family and our companies are really, they dominate this space.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're really just like the best in the industry. Now, of course, I'm kind of biased, but even from a totally unbiased onlook, I think we definitely are the best.
Yeah, I concur. I agree. Okay, as we're wrapping up today, I want to know, obviously your dad has amazing, celebrity, political, like just these incredible friends. Who's been the coolest person that you've met?
Our partners, Brandon and Natalie Dawson, they run Cardone Ventures, where we partner with different companies.
Yeah.
And I've known them ever since I was very young. They've been just such an influence in my life. I watched them get married. They're really close family.
Aww.
And we all love them so much. But I mean, other people who I thought were really interesting, just watching them, I really, really liked watching Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was very interesting. He's done everything. He was an actor, a governor. He's just a very powerful person. And it was really interesting getting to hear him talk. So, I mean, I've met a lot of really cool people, but those were some cool people that recently I've really enjoyed.
Okay, what does being a young boss mean to you?
Being a young boss to me means you're young and you have the initiative. You want to go after something. That means like between the ages of, I don't know, like 10 to 35, and you want to, have access to something incredible in your life. You want to be an entrepreneur towards something and you want to create something. And not only do you want to, but you're going to. That is what you're going to do. So you have this goal and you're going to achieve it, and you have the discipline and the motivation, whatever that means, to go and achieve your goals and, create an amazing life for yourself using the, whatever the disadvantages, the advantages you've been given in life.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. I've loved having you on and hearing all of your insight, and we're excited to see what you do with Cardone Capital and 10X Kids.
Thank you, Isabel.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Young Boss with your host, Isabel Garino. Be sure to like, share, and follow on Instagram and TikTok, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and let us know, are you a 10X kid? Remember, your youth is your power.